Hey guys, what's up? This is B coming to you from G&A today. So what I'm going to do in this video today is I'm going to show you how to take the bolt assembly apart in the Walther/Umarex H&K G36 and in the Walther/Umarex Beretta ARX160. Both of these have nearly identical bolt assemblies, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically play a part of a video that I put out last year sometime. It's whenever I was making my videos way too long, and it's just kind of a part of one of those videos. It's about 40 minutes long, so it's not like it's easy to find. So I just want to do this as a standalone, and it's going to actually be me taking the G36 bolt assembly apart, but like I said, they nearly have identical bolt assemblies. So I just want to show you how to get to those very quickly. Of course, we'll make sure they're empty. Nothing in the chamber there. Nothing in the chamber there. No magazine. We're clear. So on the ARX160, to get the bolt assembly out, what you have to do is fold the stock over, push the fire selector past safe. You'll feel it spring in there. You push down on this bolt assembly. The lower receiver, the pistol grip, hinges out. You pull the charging handle out, and then the whole bolt assembly pulls right out. All right, on the G36, I'm going to take the mag well off real quick. I'm going to take this pin out so that the lower receiver is kind of loose. We're going to fold the stock. We're going to push this piece down and then just pull the lower receiver out. Oops. And then once you pull the lower receiver out, that allows the bolt assembly to pull free. So here's the Beretta, here's the G36, and they do have some cosmetic differences, but as far as taking them apart, they're going to be identical. Of course, one of the main cosmetic differences is that you have the charging handle here on the G36, but it's going to be the same process. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the old video that I've already recorded showing me taking this apart. So here's the complete bolt assembly. Charging handle built into it. What I want to do is I want to show you how to take the bolt off of here, and it's actually very easy. There's a cross pin right here that is actually going through the firing pin, and the firing pin is actually kind of a flat blade that runs through here. But this cross pin goes through the firing pin, and it's actually going through two other places in here to hold all of this together, to hold kind of the upper half of this bolt assembly to the actual bolt down here. So what you have to do is you have to drive this little pin out right here, and you can either drive it from left to right or from right to left, either way. But as the firing pin, which is under spring tension being pushed back this way, obviously, is putting pressure on this little cross pin. So what you have to do is just push the firing pin, it just has to be pushed forward a little bit to take off the pressure. Now, on mine, it takes a little bit to be able to push that pin out. On my Beretta ARX160 22, that has nearly the exact same bolt, it's the same system. On mine, when I push the firing pin forward, that can be pushed out very easily, and that's probably going to be the way it is for most people. But for mine, there's something in there that's not exactly right. It doesn't let it come free very easy. So I'm gonna have to put a little tool on that to help push it out real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna drive that out. I'm gonna push the firing pin in. And as I held that firing pin in, took a little pressure off of it, I pushed that through, and then from there I'm going to push in the firing pin some more, and it should come out. Now, if you do this, and I suggest you doing this because it does get a bunch of junk up in here, be careful when you take this apart because there are two springs in here that can get lost very easily. There's one spring that's behind the extractor here, and it will fly very, very easily. And then also, obviously, the firing pin has a spring pushing it back. And those two springs are very similar in size, but when you take this apart, be careful because those things will jettison. Okay, so there's the firing pin. And it's got a little bit of grease on it there. Try to clean this up. But there's the firing pin. And there's the hole that that cross pin goes through right there. So you can see there's the spring that that pushes the firing pin back, and there's your extractor with the spring there, and there's another piece right there that keeps the extractor pushed that way. So just be careful of that, because that one's a little bit difficult to get back in there. I mean, not too bad, but mainly be careful because that thing will fly out if you're not careful. So there's the little spring that puts tension on the firing pin. Now, what has to happen is when you put this back in on the firing pin, okay, when you put this back in the firing pin, it has this little nose right here. That's the sharp point. That's what hits the primer. Make sure, obviously, that it's down and on the same side as the extractor. Now, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get the spring up into this channel, up against that. Okay, the spring's got to go up into this channel right here, and it's got to be up against this flat side right here. So the easiest way I've found to be able to get the spring back in place in this firing pin is to go ahead and lay the spring in the channel, take your firing pin, and set it about right there. And then whenever you have to shake it sometimes to get that spring to come down. There you go. So it is a little bit of a trick to get that on there just right. So once you get that in there, be careful because that thing can pop out very easily. Okay, then another thing to be careful of is this tiny little spring right here. This tiny little spring is what catches the groove on this cross pin. So when you push this through there, that cross pin locks right into that little spring right there. So just be careful of that little spring that it doesn't come out. So be careful as you put this carrier back on here because that firing pin is going to want to fly out of there. So you're going to push that up. You can see where that cross pin is going to go through, and you can see right in there that's where that little spring is at that's going to catch the groove on your cross pin. And you'll want to go ahead and push the firing pin up just a little bit to give a little bit of tension off of that. Like I said, mine's kind of difficult, so I'm going to have to... It's just a plastic part of the screwdriver there, just pushing that in there. There you go. That's how you kind of take this bolt from the carrier. Thanks for watching today.